and burning your honored dead to ashes.
I suppose you're right. Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Maybe I'll go to Highover with you when you go.
I'd like that. So would he, I think.
Alistair approves. +3.
What do you need? Ask away.
What can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So couldn't others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together.
So they basically like drug them and like keep them addicted so that they can never leave, like prostitutes. Honestly, it's sickening. So you were addicted to this lyrium?
Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vows. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templars' talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
Yep, lucky.
What do you need? Ask away.
Can you teach others to be a Templar?
I suppose I could. But I really would rather not. When the Grand Cleric let Duncan recruit me, she made me swear never to reveal Templar secrets outside of the Chantry. I'd rather not go back on my word.
You don't think this is important?
Of course I do. It's just... I don't think you necessarily need Templar secrets to defeat the Darkspawn. Ask me later, perhaps. Maybe I'll change my mind. This is not something small you're asking, after all.
Yes, it is. Gosh.
What do you need? Ask away.
Tell me about the Grey
Such as
Wardens.
they are.
Where are the nearest Grey Wardens from here?
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
The Orlais chick is a bisexual. Same with the Antivan elf. They're both bisexuals. Alistair and Morgan are straight. Is there a headquarters somewhere?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfells, 1,000 miles from here. But I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
So what happens now that there's just the two of us?
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
To be honest, I think this whole part is like a huge plot hole. The rest of the game, you basically travel from one end of Ferelden to the other, back to the other end, back to the other. You're traveling across Ferelden multiple times before you get to the final battle. In this time, You definitely could have gone to Orlais and gotten the Grey Wardens from Orlais to come help. And like you see in the next Dragon Ages, that they're actually not that far apart. So, and like, why can't they use messenger birds or something to contact them? This whole thing is just really stupid. I think it takes them like months. It has to be months, maybe even a year before they even get to the final battle. They definitely could have gone to contact them, gone to get them, and even come back in time. What would happen if we just left?
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, send a party member too. Well, we need to start rebuilding the Order.
I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be 2 of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
I've no more questions.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need? Ask away.
Tell me about the Grey Wardens, JK.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need? Ask away.
So how did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
Haha, very funny.
I do my best. What can I say? Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
You don't seem like the religious
You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
I can count pretty high. You think, why did the Grand Cleric want to keep you?
I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him...
Sob story, oh my god.
I wouldn't have.
Alistair is great, except for this shit. He's like in love with Duncan, like freaking in love. Don't start crying again, please.
Yes, you're right. I should be angry for what happened to him, not sad.
Oh my god.
I shouldn't forget what Loghain did. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
Oh god, he's mad. I'm sorry.
What do you need? Ask away.
So you said this Arl Eamon raised
Did
you.
I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
That would explain the smell.
Well, it wasn't until I was 8 that I discovered you didn't have to lick yourself clean. Old habits die hard, you know.
That would explain the breath as well, then.
And my table manners, too. Though, come to think of it, they weren't all that different from the other Templars. Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on the cold, hard ground, isn't it? Are you having strange dreams?
You'd hit Duncan? Damn. What? Only ones where we're making mad love in my tent? What? I've never seen that line before. Oh my god. That is scary. Yes, they all involve strangling you.
You would do violence upon me? I am shocked and dismayed. The dogs would never threaten me like this, you know. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the father. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Our Lehman wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
You wanted me to pick the 10th option. Oh my god. Okay, I'll reload and I'll do it, okay? He wasn't your father, so you know who is?
Our Lehman eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, the new Arlessa resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
Wasn't it inappropriate for the Arl to raise an orphan?
Probably. It was just a kindness he did to a woman who had served him anyway. I didn't sleep on silk sheets in the keep or anything. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
And do you think the Arl will help us?
All I know is that the Arl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Caelan's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Alright. Time to regret my life decisions. This is for you guys, gosh.
What do you need? You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did. Any of us could die in battle. I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Dwarves don't practice cremation, do they? I heard about that, now that I think. I suppose... Thank you. Really. What do you need? Ask away. Such as they are.
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip through it really quickly.
If we go north... So unless we try to get back... We could... Unless we can find... Eventually... What do you need? Ask away. Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out.
Oh,
You haven't forgotten already, have you? Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was... Oh, I suppose the Chantry life is good enough for some. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I would never... No, it's... I'm sorry. I shouldn't be...
God,
Fine.
he's such a
Die a
baby.
hero. They all... Come on,
What a baby.
what do you need? Ask away. Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs. Well, it wasn't until I was... Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on the cold, hard ground, isn't it? I think I completely lost my chain of thought. Oh, there it is. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make my mother was...
That's it. That was horrible.
And he didn't have to... So off I was packed to the nearest... I suppose you're... Stupids. And...
That was horrible. I lost my train of thought.
What do you need?
Pow chicka pow.
Ask away.